Welcome filmmakers, fans, and friends to Indie Cinema Showcase. I'm your host, Christina Carmona. Matt and Allison are on vacation, so for now, I will bring you the best and brightest in local independent cinema. On today's show, we welcome actor, writer, and producer Jerry Eisinger to pick his brain about filmmaking in Central Florida. We will also take a look at Cloudy Logic Productions' newest trailer for their documentary, SNAFU. And later on in the show, we will visit the Wayne Dench Performing Arts Center and check out the red carpet premiere of 386Films' newest project, The Guy Knows Everything. Let's start things off with our Shorts to Shorts film. This film is about a little girl with what can only be described as an overactive imagination. Or is it? The film is called Ambiguous Figure and is directed by Johnna Troxell.
What's wrong? Stop it! No! Stop! Stop! Julie?
It's time for supper, honey.
Oh, come on.
Once again, that was Ambiguous Figure, directed by Johnna Troxell. As you know, with each episode, we like to give our own thoughts from the popcorn gallery and offer feedback about the films we showcase. To help us with this, we've invited some industry guests who have worked in the field. A few days ago, I sat down in our panel in the ICS viewing room, and here's what they thought about Ambiguous Figure. Hey everyone, I am at the lovely Enzion Theater in Maitland, and joining me today, I have John Shade Vick and Fernando Torres. We have just watched Ambiguous Figure. So, for one, I have to say, anytime anybody uses little kids in a scary way, I feel like that's one of the creepiest things that you could do. What did you think, John?
Yeah, for some reason, there's this in the public collective. There's this idea that children are a lot more dangerous than we imagine, and because they do have such vivid imaginations, it's amazing that more children don't kill their parents.
I have to agree.
Really? I mean,
it is one of those things like where in the sort of horror genre where little children always seem to be portrayed in some sort of scary type of overpowering either villain for some reason. It's like I'm sure a lot of parents out there probably agree, depending on how well their child is behaved. But in the case of this film, it was interesting to see what this child was thinking. It's like, on a daily basis, we typically don't know what a child actually, what runs through their mind, what they imagine. Is like, I know as a kid I would think about, being a superhero or flying into outer space, never actually like killing one of my parents.
Yeah.
So it was very weird.
She's gonna have problems in the long run, for
I would
sure.
say so.
So it's that innocence that we tap into and we kind of destroy, and it makes for a good thing. One of the things I definitely thought was great were the shots that they used.
Yeah, the cinematography was great. I wasn't as crazy about the middle of the film where it seemed like it had been processed in some way to make it more dreamlike or deeper in the imagination of the girl. But the cinematography was really, really great.
Yeah, I agree. They definitely put a lot of time and thought process into how the shots were going to be laid out. One of the particular shots that actually I liked was when the camera was panning into the dollhouse's door, and the little girl opens the door and you see her from the inside, and then the camera angle switches from the actual house and the mother walks in. So it almost like it's almost inviting you into her imagination as is to what you were seeing. So I thought that was very well done.
And that's the important part about cinematography, because you want to be invited in, and you don't realize that there's so many different ways you can shoot something. With the rack focusing, with, like you said, the opening of the door, making us feel like we're invited in. That takes us into that world instead of just feeling like we are an audience watching something.
Right.
How about the music?
The music was really effective. It was for a horror story. The music is really, really, really important in creating that mood. And the music in this was unnerving and kind of discordant, and it was effective. It did its job.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like I'm particularly a fan of films where they have something horrific happening and you have like a classical song playing in the background. It really makes it even in a worse situation even worse.
It does. Anyways, guys, unfortunately that is a wrap. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To learn more about Johnna Troxell, visit her website, caseandfilms.com. When we come back from the break, we will chat with actor, writer, and producer Jerry Eisinger and check out Cloudy Logic Productions' newest trailer, so stick around.
If you would like to be a guest, have something to promote, or have your film featured on our show, please visit our website, IndieCinemaShowcase.com, and download the release form, or email us at icstv@yahoo.com.
Welcome back to ICS. Today's guest is an over 15-year veteran of film, television, and theater. His first feature film, Stealing God, won the Secret City Film Festival in 2006 and gained him distribution a year later. His training both in front of and behind the camera gives him a unique perspective of our industry, and I can't wait to talk to him about it. For this episode's Industry Insight segment, we're happy to have with us the multi-talented Jerry Eisinger. Thanks for being here, Jerry.
Great to see you. 15 years, you make me feel like an old man over here. It's like, wow, all of a sudden. Maybe I am a veteran.
You are, and that's a great thing. So tell me, what got you started into filmmaking, specifically writing?
Well, it was always kind of a natural inclination I had. I always wanted to write. Growing up, movies were such a big part of the experience that there was always a true love there, true romance with film.
Yeah.
I didn't come from the kind of world where that was a natural decision. You don't go into filmmaking. Very blue-collar world, grew up in Michigan, but there was always a secret desire to try to get into the industry. And then one day I just slipped into it, actually, through Universal. One of the first things I was cast in was the horror makeup show. Nice. And all of a sudden, I'm surrounded by professional actors, and knew nothing about the industry, and all of a sudden, it slowly, organically evolved to making films, making short films, things of that nature. But it didn't happen in a very, very linear way. It was truly organic.
So it was a little bit of theme park.
Yeah,
all that kind
truly,
of stuff.
Truly. And I didn't even know that actors like that even existed, to be quite honest. Once I got this show, and I thought, oh my goodness, you make your living doing this? And then that just continued on into finding someone with a camera and convincing them we need to shoot some stuff. But it all stayed very organic for probably a few years.
Now, the first stuff you got into, was it something you wrote, or did you get a group of friends to come out and?
A little bit of both, actually. I did find an agent early on. There were some gigs that, were paychecks and things of that nature. But the best memories and the things that were the most fun was having the friends with the camera, an idea, and I would actually write. We would shoot it maybe even later that day. And it was just, now this is pre-internet in terms of YouTube. There weren't many places we could take it, but it was during that little season of, I have an idea, let's make this thing. And literally, like 3 days later, we would have a short film.
And that's what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
So true guerrilla style.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And guerrilla may actually be a little higher than what we were. I mean, it was just absolute, we were shooting at our own houses, and we had all these crazy ideas, so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, as an actor, and you telling me about all the crazy ways you got this started, is it better to have more on your resume or less?
It truly depends, actually, and I don't really think I know the answer to that question because, you'll find great talent sometimes with nothing. Mm-hmm. No experience, they come in, they shine. You hear of the actors the Hugh Jackmans of the world who just walk in and all of a sudden, wow. So I really don't know for sure how much resume weighs in. I've had the chance to do some casting, and you do look at where they've been, but what's on the camera and how well does that character or personality blend in with the ensemble? If you have someone else cast, does this person match? Things like that. So it's really hard to tell. I mean, I would like to think that it doesn't matter much at all. But then, of course, once you start building those credits and it's familiar names, then all the credibility might lend to bigger opportunities. But for me personally, I just see what's on camera.
So, as a producer.
Yes. Greatest job in the world.
Can you tell us a little bit about producing, actually? Because we have people who...
Oh, well, yeah. How do you define it, right? I mean, for some people, it's like 3 phone calls because they're such a big producer. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, I'm going to get Nicholson on the phone. Hey, he's attached. All of a sudden, I'm the one who made all this possible. For guys like me, who aren't at that level, it's everything. I mean, it's dealing with human nature. It's raising money. It's just making sure by the time the film actually starts shooting, if you've done your job as a producer, you should just show up to walk around and shake a few hands and say, hi, how are you? Good to see you. Because your job is, at that point, it's pretty much done. Yeah. If the money's raised, people are on the set, you're trusting your director to have the creative vision. And then once it's finished, you're right back into hands-on festivals, distribution, things of that nature. So there's a lot of overlap in terms of producer can mean so much.
Yes.
It seems like every other position in film, actually, it's clearly defined. For producers, it's not, and I think it's one of the reasons why there's really no awards for Best Producer, because I don't think a lot of people even know what that means. But quite honestly, as producer, the real job is just managing human nature. Hate to say it, but,
That's what
people,
it is.
Well, look, we're in a creative field. We attract a very interesting brand of personalities, so.
And we're all put together in one place.
Yes, well, and someone told me long ago that if you're attracted to this business in the first place, there's already maybe something a little
off.
Little wrong with you, yes. So, even the best of us still are attracted to this industry. So, it's like the band. The band always breaks up because it's just that creative.
The personalities.
Right. So it's just holding on,
All right, so tell us about Turning Back.
Turning Back is a modern-day film. It's sort of a prodigal son story. Mm-hmm. It has hit very strongly in the Christian market. The story was personal for me because I actually felt and identified more with the prodigal son than having some sort of message or underlying tone to it. I just think it's a beautiful story. I found out that there's almost an identical version of the same story in the Buddhist religion.
Nice.
It's such a universal story. It's about sibling rivalry, and in my film in particular, there's drug addiction and there's problems with the character's past, and it's just sort of how do you come home? idea. I mean, it's a very, very delicate subject for a lot of people who've been in that situation. So whenever we show it, whenever it screens, I can tell when someone has had those kind of family issues just by their reactions. Yeah, some of it's very strong, and it's delicate subject matter, you know. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So did you write Turning Back as well?
I did write it. Yep, I won my my very first Best Screenplay award out in Phoenix for it, and writing is probably my favorite part of the process, and I think story is one of the most undervalued parts of filmmaking. We love our cameras and we love our actors, but to me, I think story is the thing.
So Jerry, tell us a little bit about this screenwriting course.
It starts in early 2013. It'll start next month in January, and it is just an attempt to make sure people who come in to a writing class have every basic tool they need to write the screenplay, and hopefully throughout the course, the duration, that they will actually finish their first draft. But to just give a leg up a little bit, I think in town it's one of the elements that really needs a little bit more of a push to focus in. So it'll be a weekly course, 3 hours once a week, but with assignments and things of that nature, but to really understand how it's formatted, and as we talked about before, making sure the dialogue is natural.
Up to par and natural.
Yeah.
And that we don't say too much.
As I say, not enough right there. So absolutely. And I think it's going to be a great opportunity for people because it just seems to resonate. A lot of people want to learn how to write the screenplay, and I'm not sure they're getting the face-to-face time that they need. Books are out there, online courses are out there, things of that nature, but just in terms of sitting with a course and having a group of people who will be truly honest, not mean, but honest to say whether or not this works, it will be a great benefit to writers, and I think this town needs stronger screenplays.
Thanks, Jerry. That was a lot of great information. I appreciate you coming out.
Great to see you, Christina. It's great to be back at Orange TV as well. Thank you.
To find out more about Jerry's screenwriting course, please email him at orlandoscreenplay@yahoo.com. As Jerry heads back to set, we will be taking a break, but don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we will check out the latest trailer from Cloudy Logic Productions, and then travel to the Wayne Dent Performing Arts Center to check out the red carpet premiere of The Guy Knows Everything, so stay tuned.
If you would like to be a guest, have something to promote, or have your film featured on our show, please visit our website, IndieCinemaShowcase.com, and download the release form, or email us at icstv@yahoo.com.
Welcome back to Indie Cinema Showcase. By definition, a SNAFU is a chaotic or confused situation. Orlando band SNAFU redefines it nightly. This grassroots, fan-fueled band fuses punk attitude with a unique musical blend of alternative rock, funk, blues, and reggae. They are also the subject of Cloudy Logic Productions' newest documentary. On this episode's feature, we bring you SNAFU.
I've never ever wanted to do anything else in my life. I know, like, Steve's got my back, but Ryan's got my back. I feel very blessed to be in this band.
I've always really enjoyed music. I'm free to be myself. As long as we keep writing music that we all enjoy, it should be very easy to be the band that we are.
I love playing drums. We stay just very open and honest. It helps with the creating that we do also, and the music that we play.
All we want to do is have an interaction and a relationship with the fans.
for our final segment, On Location with ICS. We returned to the historic Wayne Dench Performing Arts Center in Sanford, Florida, where we got exclusive access to the red carpet premiere of 386Films' newest project, The Guy Knows Everything, starring Joe Coffey and the debut of former Puddle of Mud guitarist Paul Phillips. Check it out.
That's Mike.
That's Jupes. He directed the movie.
He produced it. Frightful.
Scary.
Absurd.
Anxious.
Chaotic.
But fun.
Excellent. Terrible.
Horrible.
They yawned. But it was exciting and prideful.
And fun.
It was a dating service that matched us up. We had similar likes. We liked movies and long walks.
Filmmaker.com. Right.
I'm gonna get a drink and then plan to take over the world.
I'm not real sure. We want to do a feature. We want to do a TV show.
And feature the TV show.
And we'll see which one works out first.
And then put the feature on a TV show.
And then feature a TV show in the movie.
Yeah, it's going to be a feature about a TV show.
As you could probably guess, we don't like to be serious about much of anything. However,
we are serious about the feature.
This is a very serious topic.
The TV show.
Mouse juggling. It's almost, the hurdles are almost fun to try to overcome.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing.
They can be.
But, yeah, I mean, once we get started on a project, we just feel like we owe it to our cast and crew to make it the best it's going to be, and nobody quits no matter what. So, you're going to hit bumps in the road, especially with no-budget filmmaking. But, yeah, it's figuring out how to get over them and just make the best project you can, right?
That's what we did.
Boy, that almost sounded intellectual in a way.
Can you delete that?
Yeah, that's a terrible take.
The tips are it's extremely difficult to get funding for a movie. We've funded all of our own movies out of our own pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough.
It's finding people that are like-minded, that are in the business, actors, crew people, or not even in the business. Our crew is not, there's not one professional in there. There's not one person that does it for a living. Everyone donates their talent and their time. They all want to be in it. But they donate their talent and their time. So you find those people and you never let them go. You chain them into your basement and you just wait for the next project, and then you feed them a couple of Twinkies and you let them out.
Can't feed them Twinkies.
Well, not anymore. Ho-hos. And then all the rest is just figuring out your resources. Where can you shoot? How can you get it?
And you got to start talking to all your friends and all your family.
It's be nice to everybody and remember what they're doing for you. Is basically what it comes down to. No one's doing this for money, so they're doing it for some other reason, and usually because they like you and they want to be part of something.
But not in our case.
No, they hate us, but they want to be part of something. Yeah. So.
Facebook.com/386Films
386Films
386Films.com. Thank you. Peace out. Bye.
Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of ICS. We want to thank Jerry Eisinger for dropping by, as well as filmmakers Johnna Troxell and Ken Lowrie. We hope you learned something new, saw something that you loved, or got inspired to get off your couch and go make a movie of your own. And who knows, it just might be good enough for us to screen on the next Indie Cinema Showcase. Until then, as they say in the movie business, that's a wrap. See you next time.